There have been many questions about what sort of budget is this, and yesterday we had a live exclusive interview with the Treasury CS Ukur Yatani. He spoke to Jeff Koinange on JKL, and the CS called it a recovery budget. I wonder if my guests agree with that this is actually a recovery budget. Caxton, let me start with you on this one. Would you use those terms to describe what you've seen so far?
Actually, I have a better term for this year's budget, Wahiga.
What would you call it?
And this one, I will say it is really not my wisdom. I always try to ascribe to the people that have come up with some of those terms. It was just, I think, this morning that somebody says, for us as a country, we are in a trilemma. We know of a dilemma, yeah? But this year's budget is actually a trilemma. And a trilemma, they say in this age of Google, ignorance is a choice. I just had to go check whether that is a proper term. And I saw that a trilemma really means a situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between three alternatives, and especially where these alternatives are equally undesirable. So which are these three things that I think that we are having to grapple with? First of all, we have a very, very big budget, 3.6. As you said, it is a record budget. And a friend of mine yesterday was telling me the media people should stop using the term record budget. It is like saying you're 1 year old every new year. It is a matter of course. But I said sometimes, yes, it can actually go low. So we have a huge budget. That's the first dilemma, or trilemma. Then we have a depressed economy. The outlook does not look good. Yeah, we have contracting sectors. People's disposable incomes are low. And then thirdly, we have a pandemic going on. It is really a tough time for one Honorable Ambassador Ukur Yatani to come and present. I'm actually as anxious as all of you to just see how he wants to tell us how we will balance all these things.
And how we'll raise the revenue. And I want Michael to respond to that. But let's listen to actually what the CS said yesterday. It's all focused on him, but this was his view of what sort of budget he will present in the next hour or so. Let's listen in.
Relief are you going to provide for the common Mwananchi, Waziri?
This is going to be a recovery budget. We have set all our parameters. We are going to continue sustain expenditure by implementing the Agenda 4. We are going to enhance the economic stimulus package that we initiated in this financial year. And there are vast of them, including the Kazi Mtaani, by creating jobs and opportunities for people, by expanding jobs in the medical sector, by expanding jobs by having more teachers, to stimulate consumption, like, the way we are dealing with now the issues of desk, support the furniture industry. We are supporting the tourism industry through employment of scouts, game scouts. And at the same time, we are also undertaking the economic recovery strategy with targeted interventions, particularly one of the sectors that has started doing very well, the ICT. With the onset of COVID, many people are working from home, and that's a sector that has expanded. So we want to continue investing more to enable our people realize the opportunities that are bound within the ICT sector.
That was last night. Treasury CS Ambassador Ukur Yatani speaking to our Jeff Koinange, calling it a pro-Mwananchi budget, a recovery budget. We actually have live pictures, and we'll be showing you that shortly from Treasury building, as that same man then exits the building, negotiates his way to Parliament, and that will be, we'll be showing you that shortly. But Michael, let me bring you in now. We struggled to fund a 2.8 trillion budget. Now we are talking 3.6 trillion. Is it time for a reality check as a country?
Thank you, Wahiga. Just to start off, I think Caxton spoke so philosophically. I want to bring the point closer home with very simple analysis of the situation. First of all, 2.8 trillion, if you take stock, you realize that we did not achieve probably even 3/4 of that. If you look at the government balance sheet, in terms of the projects they intended to deploy within that period of time, quite a number of them have not happened. But for me, besides Caxton's trilemma issue, I think it's not a recovery budget. Remember, a few months ago, Treasury itself came up with post-COVID-19 economic recovery strategy. In this particular budget, I see absolutely nothing for that, because for me, if we are in a recovery mode, the first thing I would have expected to see is nothing else in this budget but a clear plan on how to vaccinate our people. You cannot reopen this economy fully. You cannot recover anything unless you deal with the issue of vaccination. It's the only way that the US and many other countries have been able to reopen their economies. I look today what is happening in Western Kenya, in Kisumu, Siaya, the ranches, Western Kenya, and Nyanza. It's most likely that that part of the country is going to be closing down. And potentially, the experts are talking of the fourth wave. So with this start and stop kind of a situation, it is not possible to talk of a recovery budget when you have not sufficiently addressed the issue of vaccinating our population.
What kind of budget is it? If it's not a recovery budget, how would you describe it?
Confused.